Stormer's Freeze Machine is layered, it's well built, it's a great LEGO set. So in this video, let's discuss why this awesome Invasion from Below themed LEGO set is so cool, and we'll also discuss all the amazing pieces that you get in this set and how you could use them in your own mocks. And we'll also highlight a couple ways that you could revamp and reimagine this set. Let's go. You know, I really like Stormer's Freeze Machine. The designers did a great job of distilling Stormer's personality into this machine. You know, I like that this mech is bulkier, it's stout, it's sturdy, it's more heavily armored. Now, sure, all the mechs in this wave, they were decently well armored and they had a nice compact look to them. But each one does give off a very different vibe that seems to reflect the character or kind of highlights the skill set of the mech and the person that's piloting it. So Furno's mech, for example, it seems more agile and ready for like fast-paced combat. You know, the slimmed down weapons, the fire coming out of the top, it makes him seem hot-headed and very overconfident. And that's what Furno is like, so it works. Then you've got Rocker's machine. Rocker is known for being very intelligent and having a very diverse skill set. And since this is a stealth machine, looking at it, you get the sense that this mech and the person piloting it, they're going to be very creative and clever with how they fight. Then you got Stormer's mech. It's bigger, it's clunky, it's well armored, and Stormer's a leader, he's courageous, he's strong. And his mech is like that too. All that armor, that sturdy design, you know he's going to be able to take a hit and protect others. Isn't that awesome? The mech itself, it looks great, but we also learn a little something about the person that's piloting it. To me, that's really good toy design. You also get a lot of nice accessories on the shoulders of this mech. Very nice additions. I do like how they play with minifigure accessories in these sets. It's something you couldn't really do with the other sets, but you can when you have actual minifigures. Speaking of the minifigures, I love that you get 2 of these jumper beasts, and you also get Stormer as a minifigure, which is fantastic. The gunmetal on the legs, it looks robust, it looks strong, and I also really enjoy this containment capsule on the back. The fact that you can put those jumper beasts inside it and contain them and study them, it's just fun. Alright, so that's what makes Stormer's Freeze Machine so awesome. But what about all the great pieces that come in this set? Well, in this set you get 2 of these hand armor pieces in gunmetal. Eclipse Caller has used them here on a mock called Imron the Untarnished. So here's the finished mock. It's a sick looking knight. But I want to draw your attention to an older work in progress image when this mock was being made. We can see here the use of some of these pieces in silver for torso armor, as well as shoulder armor. Now what a great idea to use 2 of them on the chest there to really craft some lovely armor. And hey, check out the middle there. We've got one of these red jumper pieces, which of course you get one in this set. So why not also use that to make some really fancy looking armor? It's a good idea. We can also see this exact same piece being used on the shoulder, and I love how some of those gold finger pieces are just draping off the edges there. Something very regal about that. This is a very helpful piece with a lot of good uses. If not, you could use it like Cody Avery did here on a mock that's called Nick Vengeance of Galador. Now see how some of them have been used here in gunmetal on the waist? Adding some claws onto it, it creates this really sick, nightmarish Death Knight armor. It feels so appropriate for this kind of overlord vibe that this mock has going on. It's wonderful. I'm glad we also get this larger foot piece appearing in this set. If you want to use it in a mock, do what Loaf Builds did here on his mock Big Grunt. Taking a look at the feet, we can see this piece is being used. And given the fact that this is a larger piece, and this is a very large Titan-sized mock, well, this is the ideal piece to use. Titans need a really strong, sturdy base of support, otherwise they're going to fall over. And this piece is one of the largest foot pieces that they've made. So if you're going to make a big old Titan, it's probably a good idea to use these pieces on their feet. It'll make them sturdy and strong. The set also comes with 3 of these shield with bar handle pieces, which, as we learnt in a previous video that I posted on this channel, these are surprisingly expensive pieces, despite the fact that they're very common in Hero Factory sets. I'll have a link to that video in the description below if you want to check it out. Anyway, what could you do with these pieces? Well, Marco has a Deathlord mock that integrates these pieces very well. See how he's used them on the top of the torso here? It's a nice way to add in some chest protection, and the way that they're angled too, that kind of V shape that they form, it does give off a subtle, sinister flair. The sharp directional lines that they're resting at. It says something about the character, it's cool. And then the feet, they also use these pieces. And they make for some fantastic armored shoes, especially when you merge them with these sick spike pieces on the tips. That's some wonderful stuff. Now I mentioned those awesome canister pieces from before. Now this part actually splits in 2 and there's stickers on one of these pieces. But check out how Paulix Mock Building has used this piece on a mock called Calder. I like that this container is just sticking out of the back on this dude. This mock has this wonderful look to it that makes it feel so experimented on and really heavily modified. So there's something oddly fitting about this just protruding out of the back. If not, use them like IGU did on this mock called Split Spirit. Combining the trans orange version of this piece as well as the trans light blue one, that's a great look. Nice bit of asymmetry. Yeah, using it for a head design is good, but also using it for shoulder armor, I think that's even better. The head design is very specific, and you could easily put that on another mock, but I feel like that shoulder design is something you could put on all sorts of different mocks. It's a technique that's a lot more easier to translate onto other stuff. This is such a great piece, people don't really use it all that much, but how good does it look here? The set also comes with one of these flexible ammo belt pieces. Now obviously you could do what Nerved Mox has done here on his Core Hunter revamp and use it as an ammo belt. Now, yeah, this is what this piece was designed to be used for, but doesn't it look good? And you know, as nice as it is to think outside the box and come up with really clever and creative part usages for pieces that you never would have dreamed of using it for, but man, it works so well. Sometimes using the piece for what it's intended for is exactly what you need to do. Nothing wrong with doing that. Now, Loaf Builds also uses this piece on his Motoro mock, and it's the same deal, it's being used as it's intended by LEGO. But hey, when you attach it to a big old blaster like this, doesn't it just look magnificent? Do something like that on your next mock. Build a sick looking, heavy, big old gun, attach this on the back of it, it's gonna look awesome. And finally, you get two of these ice weapon pieces. Now, of course, this works wonders for ice-themed weaponry, like we see on the mech itself, but there are other ways this piece can be used, like IGU has done here on a revamp of the Chima Ultra Build set, Vardy. Hasn't he just nailed the vulture-like appearance of this character? It looks so good. But check out the tail feathers on the back. Using some of these pieces alongside some other ice-themed parts, perfection. So this character is meant to be an ice vulture, and the fact that these pieces kind of look like ice and feathers put together, that's a win-win. Really good stuff. So that's some ways that you could use the pieces that come in this set. Now let's see how people have revamped Stormer's Freeze Machine. Lewis Hammond reimagines this set, and it's a little smaller and slimmed down, but hey, this tiny design still is very well built. Orange and white, you know, it's not a color you really see on Stormer in any official sets, but it does look really good here. I also enjoy the fact that Lewis has added some of these smaller CCBS armor shell pieces around the side of this cockpit area. The official sets just don't really do that on the cockpit. In fact, a lot of the times they're pretty unarmored and unprotected. And I mean, surely you'd want that to be a little bit more armored and protected in fights, wouldn't you? So yeah, it feels very logical to include that there. And now what we've all been waiting for, here's an incredible take on Stormer's machine. Look how cool it is! You know, I thought the set looked good, but this taller, stronger, bulked up version with heaps of firepower, oh man, it's so good. This hand design is fantastic, you know, each one having two of these trans light blue stud shooters that shoot 6 studs, so 12 per hand. Incredible. And with the gears and the little handle on the back there, it looks like if you rotated that, the studs would actually shoot out. Always good to see a few play features integrated into mocks. You don't really see it every day. The armor design here is fantastic. Great use of some of those silver Onawa claw pieces from the G2 set. Using them here for thigh armor is a great inclusion. And I also really enjoy this tiny little splash of blue on the feet. You see these stickers on the front of these dark bluish grey mutter feet pieces? These came on this wonderful Exoforce set, Aero Booster. And yeah, including those stickered pieces in here was a really nice way to introduce a little bit of blue. Sometimes a tiny little hint of an additional color is just so lovely. So yeah, what an incredible revamp of an incredible set. If you enjoyed the mocks that you saw in today's video, be sure to check the links in the description below where you can see more from these very talented builders. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy building, and bye for now.